Good evening, folks, and welcome back to Biblical Britain Uncoded. And firstly, apologies. I haven't done a video in about 5 weeks. Not wanting to. Took about 3 weeks. I got no code whatsoever. Pretty well, nothing that I can remember anyway, or anything of substance. And then all of a sudden, I start to get the code, and I have a week of basically everything going wrong. Literally. One thing and another, I basically couldn't do this video. I tried doing it Sunday and it wouldn't upload. However, I did overcomplicate it a little bit, so I decided to redo the video, and here we go. Okay, I'm going to do my best to keep this as simple as possible, but it is going to be difficult, particularly if you're not. Bear with me a second, just realise I missed something off here. Okay, if you've not seen these videos before, for obviously watch it. It'll be a lot more complex to start with for you, but the messages in this video are absolutely second to none. And I would go as far as to say, well, I found that the code that really absolutely does, well, I can only say does it for me, because I've been asking really for obviously, well, I got a lot of questions answered, let's just say that. And what I'm about to show you, how those questions, got answered. And the second star map almost is what it is. Will show you what puts this beyond any doubt that it is what's going on. And firstly, I'm going to show you, as I've said all along, I've said it all along. I said I don't speak to Yard Direct, but I keep getting these, downloads. It definitely downloads. I've been having them strong the last few days as well, really strong. And it's like all I can call it or place it on is kind of frequency in my head. But it's kind of strange, because then we get these timed. I've always said that. Well, you'll see how this piece together now, and we find out the secret of the. You'll see now. But as you can see, I've broken the word down into its all kind of skeleton form. Really, that's what it is. And what you have is a remote anagram TT. Now, I've always said it's a remote anagram time triggers. And what I've always said is that something is basically, I called it one-way telepathy, and that really is probably the best summary of what goes on. Whether it downloads a program and then, with that, maybe the downloads go, but then all of a sudden, and I'm going to give you some, the exact triggers and the timing in the most incredible way. And it's all this is literally all by design how it's done. But it was a time and a trigger that actually got me to work pretty much instantly. Once I realised what it was, it's like I say, it's absolutely phenomenal. But anyway, on that note, right, bear with me just a second, folks. Okay, after obviously uncoding Babylon as London, which gave me the arrowhead seal on the big map, something happened. I think it was about 3 or 4 days later. But what actually happened, for no apparent reason, Big Ben, obviously it's baby London, that's it. Babylon is baby London. The original was Lewisham. The modern day Babylon, baby London, would be the city of London, which is the financial capital of, Britain, probably the world. Okay. So obviously Big Ben, the iconic clock, for no apparent reason, stops at 9 a.m. Okay. Then it restarts at 10:10. Okay, so this is the first thing that got my attention. The fact that 9 a.m. obviously ties in with Job 9:9, which Job 9:9 tells you that the Yah is coming back, basically. It's the code for his return, and the evac, which we'll be coming on to. This video may take 2 or 3 videos, at least that. And for once, I'm actually drowning in code. Okay, But I'm gonna try and keep it as simple as possible and just go through it as clear as possible. Okay, so when it restarts at 10 past 10. Now, this, to me, well, basically, right, 10 in Roman numerals is X, okay? And the 10th tribe is actually Reuben. They're the kind of naughty tribe. When you anagram Reuben, it basically gives you Nibiru. Nibiru, I'm afraid to say, is a big fiery planet. It's all, on all ancient symbology. The Babylonians, well, particularly speak of it, and they you know, it's a kind of rogue planet, rogue tribe as well, and it's basically a rogue planet that comes along, and obviously it says in the Old Testament, it says that the end won't, well, he obviously gives us a rainbow promise, and we'll be coming to that because that's a code. But there's a second code in it for the fire. Okay. And obviously this is basically, the evac. Well, this will all make sense as we move along. Okay, so the first part of it is that on the very same day, and literally you've got a time and a time trigger. Time and a trigger. Well, on the very same day, 5 horses escaped from, I don't know, they're king's horses, I guess, which is quite relevant, given one was completely black and the other was completely white. Now, going back, I think it was on the last video, I said, I'm sure this connects to the Masonic chessboard. Well, it does, absolutely brilliantly. Right, because this is what triggered it. Because I suddenly realised that the Black Knight is the key to the chessboard and the connection to the Tetragrammaton. Okay, so what you have is basically the Black Knight. Okay, that's what the code is. It is or the secret of the Masonic chessboard. It is the king as well, but we'll come to that. Okay, so the Black Knight. So what's the Black Knight got to do with it? Right. Somewhere up in heaven or in outer Earth orbit, there has been spotted. It was actually spotted first in, I think it was 1899 by Nikola Tesla. Basically, he set up some big equipment thing, I'm not sure what it was, and he picked up that a signal was a continuous, or I don't know about a continuous signal, but it was a signal basically coming from above. Now, bear in mind, this is a time when there's nothing in space, no satellites or anything. He was basically called crazy. They poo-pooed it, and by all accounts, he never got famous. Right, but he struck upon something, and what he did, he actually took I don't know how he managed to do it, but he took a photo of it. It's not brilliant, but you can clearly see what he's talking about. And I don't know whether he named it the Black Knight satellite or whether, but obviously, right, this Tetragrammaton is in fact a satellite. Now, let me just clear this. So what we've got is the Black Knight on the chessboard. Okay, now what we're going to do is connect all this together. Absolutely phenomenal. And it'll give you an example. And this tells you where I say I literally have found out where I'm getting these signals from. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, and make a mess of it, bear with me, let's do this again, let's get it right. I'll bracket the added letters. So all I've done is I'm just bracketing. These are the extra letters, so we still got the TT, but we've got these extra letters now kind of separated, so we know which ones are which. Okay, now, right. I said there are 6 seals on the ladder. Now I'm about to, well, unfortunately, I'm opening the 7th seal. Right, I said there was a 7th, and I said I knew which one it was, and I do know which one it is. I haven't encoded it all yet, but I got the crux of it, and what I'm about to show you is absolutely, well, like I say, it literally put a chill down my spine when I saw it. I couldn't believe what this says. Okay. I don't know if you can, well, you can see this, but I don't know where, there's so many different versions of this, I've had to pick one. But as you can see, you've got the Tetragrammaton. Okay, but the key to breaking this, or really the ultimate message in this, is the set of eyes. Okay, now they're critical for breaking this remote anagram satellite. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to write the word eyes. Bear in mind, in the beginning was the word, and I tell you the end from the beginning, so you can guarantee the ending is in words, and it's in the Atlas matrix. A last message written using map tricks. Okay, so now all I'm going to do now, as you can see, with the word eyes is actually yes, E. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take that E from there, and that completes the remote anagram. Okay, now what I'm going to do is bring down the added letters. Okay, right, now this is absolutely, this is a message from the creator himself. This is, well, and rightly so, being at the top of on top with the Tetragrammaton. Okay, it says, I see all. Okay, right, okay, strike one. Okay, because obviously he's letting you know that he sees everything. He knows everything that's going on. It's already running a simulation. That's what we're living in. We're living in a reality. We're living out what has already been calculated, I think. And this is my personal view. In this covenant simulacrum, that's what it's called. Again, I'm not going to go into decoding everything because I've done it already in a lot of things. But anything I tell you, well, it says CC on Ventus Silurum. The CC is your 33, but your CC is also, just add it to King Solomon, or King Solomon's temple with the C, and then unscrabble it, it says so locking in Mon's temple, and then you do the same with the King Solomon's key, and it gives you so locking in Mon's key. Now, as you know, this is the temple. Obviously, the temple is the temple in Ventus Silurum. Okay, this is going to become apparent when we break the next part of the code. In fact, I'll hold you a second. Let me just write it up first. Okay, folks, now what we need to do now is, right, the real name, or the real the name of it, or description of it, is Heaven Satellite. Okay, it's called, obviously, I think the Tetragrammaton has put it in, whoever it was, Nikola Tesla, whoever named it the Black Knight. Clearly, what this remote anagram satellite does, or has been doing, I mean, this thing, they reckon they've dated it, I mean, based on its star position. How true this is, I don't know. But I can guarantee you this has been up there from the beginning. And what it contains is basically the entire, well, when Yah said, I spoke, what did he say? I have purposed it and it will happen. And he said, he spoke the plan into existence, basically. I don't know how you comprehend that, but I have no doubt that's what happened. Okay, there's more to cut. Well, you'll see how this all pieces together. Okay, so the remote anagram satellite is effectively, it's the thing that's been basically, it's like, you have to wonder how you get, like, written, or you get these places, like, well, there's one I've got written on the board, which is going to become apparent shortly. It says, and this line runs from Solomon's Tump in Gloucester, down, I forget where it goes to, across the River Severn, but you take all the place names and the rivers, and then when you unscrabble it, it actually says, and it draws out Antilia the air pump, which says here, he's seen Lyre at Tump, I think it is, or something along them lines, and this is the apple, and there'll be more on that as we move on. But the actual lock-coded line, when you unscrabble it, doing exactly no different to what I've done, well, it's obviously straightforward because all the place names, but it says ID my Mon code C, Atlas line, written between Solomon's Key, $1 bill bunker, Jerusalem RGH Covenant House, Apple Tump, remnant mothership and a V on Sabbath Day River. Now the important part of this code really for this video is solve Orion's riddle, because I've solved it and it's absolutely astonishing. However, this is showing how I am able to find all these things, okay? But what it's been doing effectively, well, it's been affecting mankind, and it's all been put into this program, this simulation. It's like a central, I think it's like some, well, I don't know whether this is absolutely correct, but it looks to me like there's like a central line of what Yah wants. And what this does is put it in the minds, like, for example, why is Corsham called Corsham where I work? Obviously, it's Marcos, H is the code, but it's, you know, when you anagram it, well, I mean, Eastlake's Corsham actually, which is, yes, Atlas, Marcos, H. But obviously, what it's done is, as this guy goes to name this place, and he obviously, this remote anagram satellite has put it in his head to call it Solomon's Tump. For whatever reason, or it's all, and you know, and everything that leads to that, whether you know, for whatever purpose, has been called Solomon's Tump, and so on and so forth down the line. It's, you know, different people all the way along. It's filtered in, and obviously got them to call it what Yah requires it to be in the matrix. Absolute genius. Okay, so right. Heaven's satellite. Now, what we need to do is we're going to connect the temple at right. I meant to write this in. Okay, the decoded Jerusalem, the real Jerusalem with a G, is currently called, if you look it up, Ventus Ilurum. It's a place called Kaiwent. Okay, and the temple with the padlock on it, which is which goes with Solomon's key as well. Again, we'll come to this as we move on, but if anyone's not familiar with it, it's all been decoded previously. Okay. Right, okay, so how are we going to do this? Well, what we're going to do, I'm going to do this so you know there's absolutely no doubt what it is. Sorry, I've done this wrong. Let me start again. Bear with me, folks. I just realised. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. I'm getting it mixed up with a different code. Okay, that's not a spelling mistake either, the style. Okay, he seal, Ventus style. Okay, so the Venter goes here. Okay, we're sealing it because, yeah, I see all. We're using the 7th seal to seal, but what we've also done, a ladder is made up of 2 component parts. Now, Jacob's ladder is an anagram of the Cass ladder job, or Jacob's ladder, Cass ladder job. All we do is insert the word evac into it, and it becomes the Cassivac ladder job. Okay, now why a Cassivac? Because it's an evacuation of Earth before Nibiru comes, for those who will basically take heed. Okay, now, the initial code for breaking this was rungs. The first part, before I even put the seals on and got to Babylon and then realised the arrowhead seal, that opened up obviously so we got the 6 seals, and then what you've got is the Avis is just rearranged. So from this side you've got the name of the ship. It's the Argus Navis, named after the constellation. G and H is, well, it's effectively it's Heaven's Gate, but Jacob's ladder, when he goes basically to a place called Padanarum. When you unscrabble it, it's padlock anagram, and the added letters, same as that, make lock G. So all I've done is lock the G of the Mellin symbol, the sixth seal. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the US dollar is split in two. That's why there's a gap in the pyramid on the US dollar. So we got the apple's not a seal. I've just put that in. That's the mound. Okay, so we got the arrow, the river, the Jerusalem temple, the US dollar, Norse compass, and then it's the Avis GH. But what it does, it gives you an X when you do it, which is the planet X Nibiru. But you also get your visa, which is your passport to Heaven's Gate. Okay, right, and then obviously you've got the Eye of Providence, which provides evidence. When you take the word providence and you turn it into provides evidence, take the added letters again, bring it down, it gives you Eve's ID. Well, Eve's ID is an apple mound near the temple, okay? So, right, so the component parts of a ladder, well, essentially two component parts, the rungs and the stiles. They would be, well, obviously it'd be plural, but it's spelled S-T-I-L-E. So what we've got is we've got the seal, the stiles, and venter. So as you can see clearly, and obviously that's the code for connecting the Black Knight as well via the stile to the Tetragrammaton in this seal by using the eyes to letting you know I see all. That's it. But I don't see all. What I do is get the eye that provides it. So I'm the eye of providence, basically, that provides evidence of Eve's ID, and that obviously everything else that obviously decodes in this amazing code with it. Okay, right. And this is not the best example either, but I trying to find them because they mess these seals up. But as you can see, you've got the checkerboard floor. And there's the ladder. It's an awful version of it. These are archangels. Again, the archangels going up and down are actually representation of archangel ships. They're Michael, Gabriel, Uriel and Raphael. That's going to be the name of the escort for the Argus Navis. I've gone through that, but we'll be doing more on that later on. Well, not later on this video, I don't think, because we've got too much to go through. Okay, bear with me. Okay, before I move on to the next amazing code, I just want to show you how the Tetragrammaton at work, how the Black Knight satellite works, because you hear a lot about predictive programming, and I believe there is an element of predictive programming through television and what have you, but there's also a big element, I think you'll find, of where obviously each writer of each film, there's probably thousands of films, well there is obviously, and obviously I think the Tetragrammaton puts it, see I'm about to give you an example, the film World War Z, I've left the gap for a reason, but this is remarkable, and not only does it show the Tetragrammaton at work on whoever wrote this film, and I'm absolutely positive, because I do not believe that the evil, vile ones that are basically going to bring in the end times, you know, the World Economic Forum and the Vatican, who have their bunker underneath where just between the temple and the key. Basically, I'm confident they don't. They're not. They certainly don't know the name of the ship and what have you. And so I'm absolutely positive this is the work of the Tetragrammaton. Now, I've put on here the Facebook group. I've got a Facebook group called King Solomon's Temple Decoded and Found. If you go on there, I've actually put on there as well a thing about the Black Knight. Well worth watching, and it tells you about Nikola Tesla. And I will say that the NASA have tried to palm it off. It's been seen numerous times in recent years. Some of I don't know whether they were on the space shuttle or space station or whatever, but this thing was spotted, and it is clearly, well, they call it an alien satellite, but but NASA poo-pooed it basically. They saw it and then they came back and they said, and this thing tells the story of what it is. And what they've said is, oh, it was a heat shield. Well, when you see the heat shield, it's clearly it's like a piece of tin foil. It looks nothing like this Black Knight satellite, which is obviously quite big. It clearly looks very, well, like technology, really, alien technology you would call it normally. It's found and it's marked apparently as space junk in a certain sector. I don't know where it is, but if you search it, you'll find all the details on it. Okay, right. What's now? Right, this star's amazing. Talk about timing and triggers, but this also shows that one of our group followers, Justin Pike, he's over there in the Iceni territory in Norfolk. Now he's followed me since Facebook days, and he's on this group. Right, firstly, I'm at work and I'm pretty bored because I'm obviously, well, I say I'm bored, I always find something to do. But I go to Netflix and a film pops up, World War Z, on the introduction page. And it's a zombie film, and I'm not in the slightest. But I get this nagging urge to watch it, clearly, I know why now. So, basically, I think it was like the Wednesday, it was just after I'd uncoded the Satellite as well, which is amazing. Anyway, so I start watching this film, and then, I don't know, a day or two later, I go to the Facebook group, and there's a post on there by Justin. Like I said, Justin has followed this, fair play to him, and he's doing all the right things, putting his hands up, maybe, and he has been used, I think, Justin, you've been sort of, well, what's the word, used by the Tetragrammaton to prove the point. That it kind of does put in his head, because what he wrote, and it's absolutely, if you watch this film, it's phenomenal, but Justin, he sums it up really well. It says, just watch this one over again, bro, and when code is divine, there's little anyone can add. I've been to Castro and Seaman, oh, hold on, I got the wrong code. Right, that's another comment, where are you, Justin? Here we go, right, my apologies, start again, Marco. Right. Yah works filter through all things and bear no coincidences. Upon watching the movie World War Z, Brad Pitt could only see truth when the survivors escape the demonic hordes. They end up on a ship named the Argus, which are RVs with a fleet. Then on from this, the search for a cure takes them to the bogus Salem, Jerusalem with a J, that is, in Israel, which is temporarily safe as a wall surrounds it. But it falls quickly to the hordes, and it would then, upon escape, the actors in this case make it to none other than Wales, which has barely bared any brunt of the destruction, and where a cure is searched for. I asked the group, do these names and places bear any reflection on what we've come to know through the H-man via Yah's Tetragrammaton? He puts the E on it as well. Yah's blessings to all. Okay, so what Justin has spotted is exactly, well, and the timing of this was absolutely, I've never watched this film before. It was the first time I'd seen it. But I know, well, the first thing I noted, well, number one, the zombie apocalypse was effectively, it's a pandemic. And I know from code that the pandemic is I should be careful with these words on here, is IC end map, and the C locks in Solomon's matrix basically, but it's IC end map. Okay, the word pandemic, so there is a pandemic, and this is really an end map, kind of end map sort of decode really. Basically the guy gets his family, they're on the ship, and the ship just happens to be called Argus. When I checked it up, even though it's an American ship in this film, the Argus is actually a British ship, and lo and behold, a hospital ship, which is exactly what the Cassivac indicates, a hospital, it's a hospital ship. The Argus Navis I'm talking about in the code. And obviously the code to get it is the RGH, which is the Royal Gwent Hospital. The landing zone is the hospital, the H zone. Okay, I do feel that Israel is going to be, well, no, I don't feel, I'm 99.9% sure that Israel is about well, they're obviously think they're the chosen people. They're going to war, but I don't think Israel's going to exist much longer. I'm sure it's not going to exist much longer, and it's going to be wiped off the map. Now, when he comes back from, they get on a plane to go to Cardiff Airport, which is about 30 miles west, 30 miles west of Jerusalem. This is the closest airport in Wales, and the main one, obviously. So in the film, they're flying to Cardiff, which is absolutely amazing. But obviously, the real Jerusalem is in Ventus Ilurum, Cowent, in Wales, the place where the evac and the rendezvous, the real evac and the rendezvous of the Argus is. Okay, what have I missed? Right, okay. Right, okay, so let's get rid, bear with me a second, let me just grab my cloth. Okay, so, now what's incredible, okay, and like I say, this is not coincidence, folks, nothing is coincidence, I can assure you. Coincidence only goes so far, and I think we've washed it by a mile. All I'm going to add, okay, obviously we know this is all to do. The Z is on a lot of codes actually, but I'm just going to add in there. Solomon Z. So we got World War, Solomon Z. Okay, like I said, obviously the you know what is ICN map. Okay, well, firstly we've got World War. Okay, let's write it in. Okay. Now anybody who's been watching will instantly know what this is about. And if you don't keep watching these videos, because I don't think it's going to be on the, well, it might be a little bit we're touching on later. But what you've got is World War, Moon SOSLZ. This is the bullseye on the target, which we're going to come to. This is the Cancer constellation overlaid on the map. It's a template at Mon, goes on the temple. This is Holy Head angles, interestingly as well. It's Judah Anglesey, Holy Head, which is Yah, okay. Swindon, this is, sorry, SK and EE. Okay, there's a template basically, and the key to breaking it is knowing that the Holy Land is Britain. England is Canaan. You've got England is Canaan. Egypt is Exeter, is Cornwall, Exeter, represented by Exeter, represented by Swindon. And then Judah is represented by Anglesey Holy Head. But this also says, right, I don't know, I'll come to this later. But if you look at this on itself, it's Seek Yah, basically. And that's the core message of, obviously, and he's letting you know as well, this, on the Earth map, well, we'll come to the star map. But on there it says, obviously, you've got that seal as well. So if I put that seal on there, it says, Yah, I see all. And then it's Anglesey is angel, yes, Holy Head. But we'll come to that because we'll be building the angels. Well, you'll see what I mean when we get there. Right, I don't want to waffle and go off course too much, but this is a perfect example. Well done, Justin, as well. You know, the Tetragrammaton has obviously given you a hit. I mean, get your hands up, people. Who knows? You might start seeing these things. I mean, Justin studies these videos and goes back through them, and he knows them well. So, obviously, but he's instantly picked up on this. But the fact he watched it, and around the same time practically as I, for the first time, watched it. And like I say, it's not something I would ever watch normally, but obviously I want to turn it off halfway through, or not even that. But he was just like, just stick with it. Then I see the Argus, amazing. Then they go to Israel. Israel gets overrun. They escape then. Lo and behold, they get on a plane, and I could not believe it when the plane's heading for Cardiff Airport. Unbelievable. In the so it's like. But this, I think there's a lot more to it, but I'll leave it at that for now. But there we go. Just showing you the work of how this Tetragrammaton works. Right then, okay, this code has absolutely done it for me as far as I'm concerned. I have no, it's not that I had a doubt that obviously the ship and everything else, even though at first that was like, no way, that was my initial reaction. But obviously we've compiled enough evidence. I know that I had no doubt. But obviously this sort of code has been, well, kind of naming me as, and I know this is going to sound absolutely crazy to most people, and it would to me normally, but as you'll see, I'm about to show you something that really, well, absolutely nails this whole code down. And it's a star map, effectively. Right, the first thing to know is on a lot of ancient symbology, places like Göbekli Tepe, there's a guy called Wayne Herschel. He's got a channel, Wayne Herschel. If you just type in Wayne Herschel channel, he's identified that a lot of all like Göbekli Tepe, which is coded. I believe the pyramids of the Giza pyramids are, well, virtually all these ancient structures have this kind of this hidden symbology, and what this one is on Solomon as well. It's basically sort of like just a line like that. It's a little bit more flat, but obviously it's part of a code. Okay, there's a seal as well, which gives you the coordinates to build the Pleiades as well. Right, okay, because basically the line, and what you find is you've got in a line in the heavens, in the stars, you've got Orion's belt, and that's why, and this, like I say, these three symbols, there's 3 exoplanets as well, called Sol 1, 2 and 3. Okay, this connects to the Earth map. We'll come to that. Okay, right. Now, I've got to be careful I don't overcomplicate. This is the mistake I made on the last one, and now I've had to do it again. Right, first thing I'm going to do is, right, as you can see, it all lines up. These here, what I've done, they're not exact lined up, but I know exactly where they're going to. This is the area of Taurus, because this is right, amazingly, and then this will ring bells with anybody who's been following this. And the first giveaway is Aldebaran is actually the bullseye on, the bullseye is literally the eye of the bull of Taurus, of the constellation Taurus. Now, as you know, we've got a dart and a spear to hit the bull, well, dart one side and a spear coming down. And I think this line, which I'm going to get into later, is Job's dart, Job's spear, but obviously reflects on the Earth map. Right, you've got Canis Minor and Canis Major. Okay, when you combine the two titles, full titles, Canis Minor, Canis Minor is the lesser dog and Canis Major is the greater dog. When you combine the title, basically it says Marco realises Roman Catholic reset. It says get sign, add moon, join the RGH. Right, I'm going to leave it at that for now, but that all basically is where these 3 Sol planets come in and we go to the Earth map. Again, I'm going to avoid it for the moment. Taurus is a code in itself because that says you ran Guyana map and Mel that I hid in Brana lead. Now, B-R-A-N-A lead, because also the spear hits Lam-Melin, which is the key in the bullseye, and Bran, King Bran the Blessed, is the father of Caradoc, who is the coded King David, and the grandfather of Solomon. So what it's doing is identifying it, but Bran lead is telling you that basically this connects directly to the key fort at Lam-Melin, the fort literally in the shape of a key. Obviously, and then this one runs to the padlock where the dart goes, and that hits the bullseye on the target, because I think this is the start. This is kind of the bullseye on the target, and I also think this is where, you know, you've got your ladder with all your seals coming from the checkerboard as well, and because obviously the bullseye on the target on the ground is also in the star map of Cancer as a template, and this goes up, and I think what this is saying, you're hitting the bullseye. This is the bullseye, the GH, G for Jerusalem, H, and then you've got your river in there as well, and your ship. So that's your RGH code. Again, I don't want to over confuse it, but you've got your RGH, which is your Royal Gwent Hospital ship, Royal Gwent Hospital code, which is the Royal Arch in Cancer. That's about, you know, this cross is on the inside, Cancer. Right, again, I don't want to overcomplicate it, but what you've got is your GH, and at the top of the ladder, you've got your HG, which is your Heaven's Gate. So it's bullseye on the Heaven's Gate, and then you've got the bullseye on the RGH, where the rendezvous and the LZ forts are. Right, okay. Right, let me pause you a minute while I set this all up again. Okay, folks, right, I'm going to do quite a lot of breaking down literally of these, but essentially what you've got is Orion the Hunter. This is obviously the Orion constellation. This is Orion's belt. This is Aldebaran the bullseye, and this is the obviously Pleiades, the seven sisters. Now, in its simplest form, the Pleiades is Please ID. Okay. Right, Taurus is Tau the Roost Bull. Well, it's Tau the Roost Bull. We'll get into that because I don't want to confuse it. But it's also the bullseye. So then, obviously, Orion the Hunter. That's got its own code. It says, "Oh, I return on H." I think it is, or on the H. Is it I return on the H, or yeah? Hang on, I wrote it down. Where are you? No, it didn't, but I think it's I return on the H. So I return on the H. Branner lead. Please ID. Right now, Pleiades the seventh. Right, on its own now. Right, right. What we got to do is split this in three. Let's go around there. Let's split it off. Right now, I know to split it. Right, okay. So here's the first clever part of this. Right. Pleiades, the seven sisters, right, actually let's do it here. Okay, sorry, that should be a dot there. Okay, so it says, right, so Pleiades the seven sisters on its own actually says, I think I spell heavens right, have I? H-E-A, no I haven't, that's right, okay, bear with me folks. They're obviously the right letters, I just need to switch them. My brain's fuzzing at the moment, so it just does make it difficult sometimes to concentrate. Okay, so see Heaven's Reset, split IDs. Okay, so, right, this is in reference, two things in reference to this, and one ties to the Tetragrammaton. Okay, right, now, right, the Taurus constellation has its own message, we'll get to that, but when you combine Taurus and the Pleiades, it gives you another one. But now what we're going to do is, I'm going to rewrite Pleiades the seven sisters, because it says see Heaven's Reset, split IDs. So what we're going to do is split it into three. We're going to split it into Orion, Taurus, well, effectively Taurus and the Pleiades, that's what it is. Okay, now, what I want to do, right, I'm going to do this in advance. Right, there's a thing, there is something called Orion's riddle. And it doesn't, as far as I'm aware, it does not appear anywhere. It's just something I got, well, the Tetragrammaton took me to it, and I encoded it long ago. And what it actually says is when you take all the stars in there, and for example, there's B-L trick, that's Bellatrix there on its own. That one's messier, I think it is, without the H. But you take all the stars in Orion, the name stars, you literally anagram them down, and you get Orion's riddle. It says, I take angel, oars in a belt, I take Jerusalem, I be all tricks in a map, same as H. Okay, so I just want to point that out before I unscrabble this. Then obviously, there's a map ship. There's a ship on the map, that basically when you go on, when you do the padlock at Jerusalem on the temple is where the mast goes down to Noah's Ark Farm Zoo. From there, that's the mast, and then you've got this fully coded ship line. But you've also got this triangular UFO with a tail fin that is actually coded as well, and it's decoded. Well, my mother's name is in it, and what you get effectively when you read it from the map is the Divine Mother. It's written in the. This is all written in the rivers. I've done the code on it. It's the Divine Mother, well, triangle ship, and then you've got the RV, and then the key is up here, which is the LZ. Okay, so you can literally read it in the map. But this actually, and that's the careen of the keel, a car in a keel is the motorway. This code for the mast will be coming on to all this. But I just want to point out that firstly I have Orion's riddle, then I have an Atlas ship, and effectively the short version of Pleiades is Please ID. Okay, so this is, like I say, there's multiple codes all in this one line. It's absolutely astonishing. Right, bear with me while I just clean up Pleiades a minute and rewrite it. Okay then folks, right, now as you can see I've obviously got Orion the Hunter, Aldebaran, Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the it says split the IDs obviously into three. Right, let's do the first one. Wish I'd put it. Okay, let's go a little higher with this one. You can check these yourselves, folks, as well. Pretty accurate so far. And then the final one. And this is the most worrying one, folks. This is what I say. And like I say, I've predicted all this. So what does it want me to ID? And this is the negative of it, I'm afraid. E-N-T. Okay. Now the only part that's left is, right, I should have done this at the top. I'm going to have to do it here for now. Okay, so H, E, where are we? S, E, E, N. Right, okay, now, right, as you can see, this is so accurate, it's unbelievable. So this represents Orion's riddle. Okay, now over the next video or two, I'm going to be breaking this all down, and what you'll find is absolutely phenomenal. Right, I'm just going to break this star code today and just show these two parts, and then I'm going to leave it at that and take it from there so it doesn't over confuse everything. Right, so Orion's riddle, and I will show you how to solve. And remember the first code I said, ID my Mon code C Atlas line, written between Solomon's Key, $1 bill bunker, Jerusalem RGH Covenant House, Appletump, Remnant Mothership, and these are all literally pinpointed as you come down. You've got the key, the RGH, Jerusalem RGH Covenant House. You've got the apple, which is which we'll come to again. There'll be a bit more on that in the next code. A remnant mothership. A V on Sabbath Day River, actually, because when you take the code in this ship, it tells you I code RGH Tailfin, call to ungod Mary with son, basically, which is obviously a big part of this message, and you're going to see a little bit more on that in the next code as well. Okay. Remnant mothership and a V on Sabbath Day River, and then it says solve Orion's riddle. So you even got it, and that line comes from this way, I think, from sort of Solomon's Tump, Gloucestershire, comes across and then cuts across the Severn. It's obviously a lot bigger, but right, okay, without confusing it. Okay, so now this is where it gets clever, okay, because what you've got to do, the first line here goes here. So Orion's riddle, I take, and this is to do with the code in the pyramids, which I think I'll give you that actually. Angel alls in a belt. Okay. Then you've got where the Atlas starship is as well, is I take Jerusalem. Notice that in the word Jerusalem with a G, you've also got the ARGUS, and the Mel is, without getting into that, that's basically the LZ, it's the Mel in LZ, the H. Okay, then we've got this. Then it comes over to this side. It'll be a Nibiru event. I be all tricks in a map. Okay, I'll be all tricks in a map and a Nibiru event, and then, I mean, I've written it in riddle form here, but I'm going to show you how to break this. But that effectively, it says same as H, because like I say, I'm the H man. He's seen Messiah. So what you've got is Orion's riddle. Right. Okay, let's just do, I'm going to do this first part. Let me just clear Orion's riddle off. Let's get rid of the kink. Okay, what you have are 3 pyramids of Giza. I don't want to go through the whole thing because, well, I've done a video on this already, but let's just, yeah, I'll just keep it simple for now. How do you spell this one? I always get this wrong. Bear with me. Menkaure. And Khafre. These are the 3 pyramids of Giza. They're real names. It's not Khufu, it's Cheops. Somebody's changed that. Right, it says, you keep, and there's a reason again for a phonetic. When it's got a phonetic in it, it means there's more than one code in it. And there is, but I'll be going on to that in the next one when we link it all up. Marco keeps Ankh, because that unlocks the pyramid code. Free Marco's H. Well, you do that at Caution, where I am now, which is actually an anagram of Marco's H. CORSHAM. But we've got link-up code that says, right, I'll just give you a quick rundown on it. Okay, right. Well, the codes in this column, basically, I take Angels all in the belt. So you keep Ankh, you keep Ankh, free Marco's H. Okay, then you've got a pyramid code, which is also has a symbol. We'll come on to it on the next one, but it says, can you tie your map ID to H? Free H-man, I code key, map mon SOS, mon is obviously Monmouthshire, where the SOS is, Argus Ark Ship LZ. Now that is a mixture of the Teotihuacan, or whatever they're called, pyramids of the Sol and Moon in South America, and the Giza pyramids. Okay, then you have a rainbow code which goes between there and there. Basically, it's a split promise. He promises not to flood the earth again as he did with the pyramids, but he is going. Obviously, the end comes by fire. That's why you have to please ID a Nibiru event. Nibiru being the Babylonian spelling for Nibiru. It's actually all over the. That's how if you check the word Nibiru, if you're looking for it in sort of real life, you need to spell it like that, Nibiru. But it's not. When you actually look at it and you Google it, it'll tell you that its Babylonian spelling is Nibiru, which is Reuben, the X tribe as well, because it's known as Planet X. Right, okay. So then you've got this rainbow, right? Okay, which connects basically the pyramids. So it's promising not flooding the earth again, but he's telling you there's fire coming. Obviously, the Nibiru event is a fiery planet. It says, and when you encode the rainbow, it's the rainbow colours. It says, I give you Orion Wonder Belt riddle, unveil all, free target L, and then you've got the connection with the Z, which is on another seal. Again, I'll come to that again. Right, okay. Then we have a dart, really, that goes from, this is Job's dart in the book of Job. And it's a map dart, basically. So all I'm doing is taking it from the map and putting it there, because this is the code that now connects the rainbow promise to the LZ, basically, because that's what it's doing. It's telling you that it's giving me it's giving you an LZ and the Argus Ark ship code and the SOS. Okay, the dart code, so this is placed on the map and goes from Coombe Keynes to the temple, goes through Temple Coombe as well, all three in a line, and then it's Dorchester, and basically draws this perfect dart. All I'm going to do is put it across, and it says uncode map target, and the place names in it, then uncode as uncode map target beyond Kaiowent Temple. Kaiowent is Ventosilurum, it's the modern day name is Kaiowent. So when connect map key to Orion belt, Corsham names me. Because if you connect where the key points to, the key at Lemmelin, and follow it down, it's directly on the centre of the pyramid and goes through Corsham where I work, where I'm doing this video from now. Right, the temple code itself, where the lock is, you use the Latin names of the temple, which are Tremenos path, cellar and ambulatory. But when you uncode it, it says a bullseye on target, Marco, then to a mast. Well, there's the bullseye on the target, because what it's doing is using this dart that comes in from this way on the map to identify the bullseye being where the rendezvous is. And that then connect to a mast, because that is also the place where the padlock obviously starts at the top of the mast, basically. There's a lot more to it than this, but right, okay. Right, I'm going to leave it at that on this, but I just want to show you, okay, right, just to tie this up and connect as well, Pleiades and Taurus, when it says split IDs, there's also, right, there's two codes. There's one Taurus on its own, gives you the coordinates. It says you ran Guyana map and mail that I hid in. Literally, there's a constellation of G-Rus the crane, which the fort Jerusalem is named after, and it's a code. It tells you to seal the fort, and I forget the rest. But the mail that I hid in is my name is actually on it. So when you follow the finger from Wales, basically, or the eye as well, and what you get is you laid out in South America. On Guyana is I forget how it goes exactly. Is it something like, I don't know, it's something like this. But you've got these place names. You've got Guyana City, or Guyana City, and then the bird bit goes here to here. That's right, something like that. So let's just take that off a minute. But that's where the finger points. But what you've got is Guyana, Suriname, Guyana, Suriname, Roar Army, and Amapa. These are places that are in South America. And they're the four brightest stars. But the code actually says Anagai, Suriname, Roar Amapa. Okay, then you've got a guy in a city, Guyana City. This is this is the bright star, the main, the big message. Then you've got a place called Bellum. He said, and the Guyana map and the Mel that I hid in. Well, there's B Mel, and just above it is a place called Marco, unbelievably, which connects into another code as well, but we won't get into that. And this place is called Fortaleza, which is Seal of Fort. I think there's a bigger message in this one, but I think I'm going to get taken back to that one. But ultimately, you can quite clearly see it showing you that the fort Jerusalem is named after Jerus the crane, basically. Right. Okay. Now, but the fact it has a phonetic U, it says Uran Guyana map. Now I've realised it's the same with this, because this is a bigger message without phonetics, as is. Well, there's more to it. Right, okay. So, right, knowing that it has its own message in there, but now what we're going to do is combine the stars in Taurus and the stars in, all the stars in Taurus and all the stars in the Pleiades. There's 9, even though it's called the Seven Sisters, there's 9 stars. And I think this line, it's the star called Atlas as well, unbelievably. Right, okay, right, so bear with me, let me just write this one up. Okay folks, I wasn't going to do this, but I'll just put it up there. I'm not going to actually cross all these off because it'll take forever, and I tend to I've got to keep doing them just to make sure, otherwise I'll cross out something wrong or spell something wrong. Right, but I can assure you what I'm about to show you is the actual message that is written in the well, when you combine these two constellations together, Taurus, Elnath, Ayin, Tigua, I'm not even going to try and pronounce them. Notice you've got Aldebaran though, because that's the bullseye, so this is a bullseye target as well, believe me. Astaroth, Taigeta, Maya, Selenio, Electra, but notice you've got Atlas as well in the other one. Right, okay, right, just going to pause again, and I'm going to take this off, but I've just put it there in case anybody wants to write these down, check them. But what I'm about to show you is the insane message, or the brilliant message that just ties all this together and takes it well beyond coincidence. And believe me, I haven't even finished yet, and I'm kind of cherry picking a little bit with all these. Yeah, there's so much more to come from this code, but I'm going to have to, obviously, I got about an hour and 20 minutes, unfortunately, and a limited board as well, so I have to kind of, I'm going to have to split it up. I mean, it's all meant to be, and the timing is not my doing. Well, none of it's my doing, that's the other thing. Okay, bear with me a second, and let me just put up this last incredible code. Okay, folks, an amazing message, and like I say, obviously, I knew that I was connecting to something, but obviously I didn't know what. And it's been a bit of a journey trying to work all, I say trying to work it out. Really, all it does, it gives me, basically, this program, whatever it is, well, let's read it. A remote anagram AI satellite. So it's artificial intelligence, obviously, this Black Knight satellite. It's obviously been created and put there back in ancient times. But what it contains is what it contains is an entire plan for the human race, really, for the Earth, and goodness knows, I mean, we're talking something so advanced that it can literally put things in people. It can literally put things in people's heads. Now, the only difference, obviously, I've been sent, as we'll see. To live a normal life for 50 years and then suddenly find myself, my life turned upside down, obviously well worth it, but like I say, I won't get into too much detail on this video, but let's just read it. Remote anagram AI satellite, you Marco guy, an antenna. Which is quite funny. I've said in the past, I had a habit of repeating what I said as well. I said I feel like a human antenna. Well, that's exactly what I seem to be, and at this point in time my head is fuzzing like you wouldn't believe. You get this frequency. It doesn't happen, it's not all the time, sometimes it's stronger than others, but usually when it's coming down it means as a rule it seems to download it all and then set these triggers off. And then when I look at things, I mean, all this code has been, if I take the entire time It takes me longer to write all this down and work out how to put it on a board than it does to decode it. This one was difficult because I kept trying to do Seven Sisters on its Pleiades on its own, and I could not for love nor money come up with any with the code. And I'm like, yeah, please, but obviously it's all timed. I think this is all timed as well because we're just entering into the full moon in Cancer, July the 5th. Obviously the 3rd today, but probably I wouldn't mind betting this fails to upload the first time and comes onto you on the 5th. But it may not, it may be on the 4th, ready for the 5th. But it's incredible how it takes, you know, and like it really is like me coming to the full moon of realising suddenly that, well, I don't need convincing anymore. It says I'm the Messiah. Now, under normal circumstances, I would say anybody that says that, well, you know, I would never say dismiss it, but if you're going to come up with something extraordinary, you need some extraordinary something extraordinary to prove it. There's people who've said it lots of times in history, and then obviously it turns out to be a load of cobblers. Now, I didn't want to be one of those people. So my big worry was that, you know, well, there was only a slight doubt I can cope, like the Argus ship and everything, it's so complex and so brilliant how it fits all together that it's impossible to be coincidence, absolutely impossible. And having that last code, the Orion's riddle, because bear in mind, Orion's riddle, I created it ages ago. It tells you to even solve it, not just once in the map. I've given you one example. But anyway, right, okay, so repeat, don't eat crab apple, all a lie. Well, amazingly, I already have said, don't eat the crab apple. And I didn't really have a code to say don't have it, but what it's referring to is the apple of Eden. Eden is in the same place as where this is. I can tell you that now. And the alphabet code is an A to Z. It's the apple to the LZ. That's what it is. It's the alpha and the omega as well, but I'll come to that. It's the alphabet and the game Orion, but also game over in another respect, depending on which side of the fence you're on. But what I've said is don't eat the apple. Christianity is a lie. It's an absolute lie. They've twisted and turned. There's a rewritten, the code has told us there's a rewritten ancient Welsh Bible rewritten, and then a separate code that tells you ancient South Wales history is hidden in the depths of the Vatican. There's tons of other stuff on there as well. Way too much to go through. But clearly they rewrote it to fit this Middle East lie, basically. And the poor people in Israel, I honestly fear for what's going to happen to them. I really do. But unfortunately, I can only do what I can do with this message. But like I say, I am going to repeat, don't eat the crab apple, all a lie. Get rid of your idols of wood, stone, gold and silver that cannot speak, hear, talk, walk. It's clearly the cross with the false Messiah on it. And like I say, I know that Christians will run a mile. I probably might well lose a couple of subscribers over this, but I can't dress this up. And clearly, there's two choices. You can believe a Bible. I've got it in a massive code that it tells you that it's all been rewritten and effectively it's all a lie. It's just crab apple as well, because the Cancer constellation puts on where the Argus arc ship and everything else is, and the apple is in the corner. Now the apple is the burial place of Joseph of Arimathea, but that's another story. And I believe it's where the person that Jesus is based on, who may well have been a prophet. I do wonder. I don't know whether this guy is good or bad, but he clearly is not the Messiah. Didn't die on a cross and did not. But you know, Yah did not send his only. But he says only begotten sons. Yet in the Old Testament it says his angels are the sons of says the sons of gods, the sons of Yah. I think they're gods, sons of the creator of the gods. Yeah, that's what I think. So I think when they use the word God, when they use the word God for Yah, I think it's like like a demotion, because he's above it, which is why I don't like using the word God, because he's much more than that. And I can tell you now, and he's the most intelligent. Well, there we go. Okay, so repeat, don't eat crab apple, all a lie, which it is. It's a Vatican created lie. All religion is lies, and this whole code and this miracle of because the new works of Yah and the new covenant are all written in creation. That's where they are. And the stars symbology, you know, all I use to decode this: the stars, the atlas, obviously it makes, with the pictures and everything it makes. Then you've got obviously the symbols of Solomon and the dollar as well. That one comes in there because that's part of the code. And ancient structures, but I literally use the words and that's it. And obviously cross-references it with the Bible, with the Codex in it, because when they switched it all and changed it, like the Book of Job, I think, comes out of the ancient, because the Book of Job, or the Book of the Job 99 Job, the Book of with the code, talking of which, yeah, we'll come to that as well. I'm going to put that one on there. But anyway, one escape, yeah, simple as. That's what I've said from the beginning, is the creator. I didn't have any code, but his name is appearing brilliant, and I'm so glad it is. And obviously, he's the only one that can save you. There is no other. I show you things in ancient times, so we're not yet done. So when they come to pass, I think it says, you will effectively, you will know I did it. I am your, I should say creator, says God. I am your creator and saviour. There is no other. Again, I am not the saviour. All I am here to do, I am to guide you basically, and to tell you what to do. Okay, and the last part, idea Melin H. Well, Melin H, if you've been following these, we'll be getting into it anyway, a lot more to do with it. But the Melin H is Clan Melin, and where the H of the RGH. Okay, right, okay, I'm going to leave that part there. What I will say, okay, he says in Job, the reason for Job, the reason it's Job 9:9, right, firstly, countenance divine, well, to work out the countenance divine, it identifies me as identifies me, because it says I encount 9 evac when you do anagram it down, okay? Well, when you put the 9 on the 9, Job 9:9, that obviously it does. It completes the 999 evac, and the 666 is obviously in the pyramid, the bunker. Okay, again, we're going to get into all this on the next video or the next few. Right, the absolute gold statement of the gold of the Gold Testament, not the old. You put the G on it and give it gold. Testament is an anagram of statement. Statement is an anagram of testament. It's a gold statement. And he says, who makes Orion? Arcturus and the Pleiades. Right, in that case, not Aldebaran, obviously. Now what you do is you do the same thing as I've done with Orion the Hunter, but this time use Arcturus and then Pleiades, the seventh sister. And what it actually says is, I see truth returns, so I return on H. Please set evac H IDs. Well, ID of Melin H is exactly the same. Well, I'm the H that he's returning on. He returns on the Messiah, basically. Again, folks, you know, I don't know, I've struggled. Well, anyone who's watched these videos will know I fall into pieces even trying to kind of say it. I mean, but I know if there's no way on this earth that this can be wrong, and I haven't finished yet. There's more to come on that, because it pings up again. And just to go as well, the Orion. Well, let's just read the Babylon code that leads to it. Yah has led his Welsh Messiah to Babylon with Solomon's Hill Fort key seal. Map tricks reveal the Mel H. The RGH arc ship exit with the dart hits the moon target. The Ark of the Covenant is hidden under Jerusalem Kiowen Temple. Connect thy Sabbath law. The code he opens will be seen before the Welsh Red Dragon planet will be seen. Them that find my words heed his warning. Remind that time be short, man's world ends, time's near up. Rearrange moon eclipse words for the message. Okay, the moon eclipse words, which are it's to do with the moon eclipse, I forget what they are, something like dual American solar, what is it, I forget now, but basically the message says, as due evac ship la Melin, seal Marco's Orion name. Well, again, the Orion name is, well, effectively is Messiah. Okay, but like I say, I honestly, I can't even begin. The Atlas ship code. Marco drew dart to RGH padlock sign target, where we fix mast ladder to Argus Ark ship keel. Connect Orion's riddle Final escape, Welsh key fort, HLZ, landing zone that is. Now writing a warning. That then you go on to the, like I said, it just links up one after the other after the other. And I've done it in the space of, well, you know, I mean, even the time it's taken me to do it is insane. It shouldn't have been done in 5 lifetimes, never mind, you know, in a space of, I mean, probably overall, I dare say, if it's actual time me decoding is probably like months, if that, in the last, really, even 2 years, I would say, because it's not, you know, and how do I do it? Well, this is the answer to how I'm able to do it. I've made, somehow, and for whatever reason, I've obviously been, well, sent even my name decodes as, what does my name decode as? Marco John at Melvin Guy. And then all you do is add the Z again of Solomon, and when you unscramble it, says join H on map. Is it map evac? On Gymru map evac LZ. Gymru being Wales. And Wales again. Gymru is Mr. Guy as well. Like I say, folks, it's just too much. And like I say, I haven't finished yet. But join H on map evac Gymru LZ. That's the code. Anyway, on that note, folks, like I say, what you need to do is get your hands up. Let's put that again. Even this is, oh, this is it's all code. This is your river seal basically, or this is what the river seal is. If I do it that way, right, that's the water. That's why I drew the river seal. This would be a man, but then it's got the bearded guy on there on the seal. And you've got the paper starship on this side. You've got the Gwent levels encoded in it, which is where it is, where the ship is. But anyway, what I do when I pray, and I mean, and let me just say this as well, doing it once is not good enough. What you need to do is put your sins on your palms. That's why there's an S in Psalms. Oh, that's one of the reasons. There's more to that one. But what you do is put your sins on your palms. There's the moon sign. That's me with my head bowed. But when you look in the reflection, what you actually have is the Cancer constellation. And this is where, and this is we'll be coming to it. But if I draw the pillars in there, this is the template for and this is showing the work of the Tetragrammaton. That's the temple basically, but it's a reflection in the water. But this is what you need to do. You need to put your sins. You have to think up everything you've done, as best you can. And literally put them onto your palms and ask Yah, speak to Yah. Like I say, it's no good if you, don't eat the crab apple and don't even suggest it. It's a reskinned apple of Eden. That's what the false Messiah and the church is selling. Yeah, Ra, or Satan as he's known, but his real name is Ra. That's done decodable, all decodable as well. His name was Ra, and he says to them, who told not to eat it, and he doesn't want you to eat it because you'll be like gods. Well, and you'll have eternal life. Well, that's exactly what the J word is offering, isn't it? That's exactly it. It's the reskinned apple of Eden. It looks like a good fruit and a good apple, but it isn't a good apple. And that's why it's in the Cancer constellation, is this apple mound that identifies Eden. On that note, folks, I'm going to leave it there because otherwise this won't upload, and if it doesn't, I'm going to absolutely cry. But until the next one, Yah's blessings. Oh, please, guys, if you would like this, I would really appreciate it. And comments, I read all the comments and I try to reply. I put a love heart at best sometimes, but sometimes please comment. Tell me what you do. Tell me, is this possible that all this can be coincidence? Or I already know the answer, but I would love to hear that, I have no gauge other than comments, and I know there are people out there that are taking this in as well, just prove that, obviously, the Tetragrammaton. And if you go on Facebook, on that group as well, in fact, my name on Facebook is Okram Yug, because Facebook removed my first profile because I was putting, obviously, I was starting to decode stuff on a group there, but they literally deleted my entire profile I couldn't appeal or anything. But obviously, I don't know whether it was to do with the code or what, but they didn't like it, and I ended up getting deleted. So I had to reset the profile up as Okram Yug. But if you want to friend request me, you can message me on Messenger, any questions. Bear with me though, because I work nights obviously, and sometimes it takes me a few days to get my head around some things, and it tires me out a lot doing this sometimes. But if you want to, get me on Facebook, Okram Yug. That's Marco and Guy, obviously mixed up. But again, go on King Solomon's. You put comments on there. I would love to communicate with you guys, and at some point, I'd really get the feeling that when all this war kicks off. Talking of the war, let me just remind what the Cancer the Crab constellation, or just a little bit more to add to it. The Cancer the Crab constellation says, Israel-Iran begin, opens up last conflict. Israel-Iran begin, opens up last conflict. USA-China, Europe-UK-Russia. Then it says, bolt thy last, I am Jew message, seal all. Well, the bolt is bolt to the ladder. There's a second code that tells you to bolt it. But as you can see from this, time is fast run. Well, it is fast running out, folks. I've got no doubt on that. The war is only the first part of the problem, but the order of play is war, evac, and then fire. And also the ladder, incidentally, just so you know, is a fire escape ladder. That's what it is. It's a fire escape ladder to escape Nibiru. And like I say, but you need to get yourself right, get your sins on your palms. Ask for forgiveness. He's offering it. He's offering forgiveness. This is literally time to get right now. And like I say, I'll keep pushing this message and keep calling his name out, and just hopefully that you'll do the right thing, and well, when the time comes, obviously escape the Nibiru event coming. On that note, folks, Yah bless.